So our learning points that we've got is don't just stick to what you're going to do. Ask them questions. If you think that they're not understanding, just kind of ask, do you understand? Ask if there's anything else that they want to talk about and things like that. Use best practice again. Some of these tools we've actually got from other things, so you'll take lots of best practice away today, and so that's how we got lots of our ideas. Test it. We tested this with the children that designed it, and then when we got to do the actual consultation, then we found it worked. And then hear what people say. Sometimes we had comments that seemed almost random, but if you actually listen to what they were saying, sometimes they were commenting on they weren't happy about the receptionist or something. So it's something that, you know, you have to listen to. 1 minute. And take time. I've only got 1 minute. Oh, that's it. There you go. So, thank you.
Don't go anywhere. Okay, we have, I told you we were going to be really harsh. That was bang on 5 minutes. Fantastic start. Very daunting, I'm sure, to be the first speaker. All on her own as well. So, Emma, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to give the mic to Kevin. So if you've got questions on this side of the room, we've got 5 minutes for questions. And we'll put a mic over here if someone... And whilst we're taking questions, could I welcome back down the second speaker, which is Helen, I think, and healthcare at home. So questions for...
Oh.
Did you have any unexpected gaps in the service? You know, having had the service so influenced by children, did you have any kind of uncomfortable gaps where the health professionals were feeling, hang on a minute, this is something we've always done, we're going to do it differently, is this going to work? Was there any kind of obvious omissions?
So, do you mean from when we were moving the service on?
Yeah, compared to the service that you used to have, were there any things which were kind of dropped off the service or not done anymore?
Well, we haven't actually, it didn't cause anything to be decommissioned, if that's what you mean. It kind of did flag up things like we didn't have a single point of access, things like that had to be created, but I don't think there were really any gaps. That's quite a strategic question, and my strategy person isn't here, so sorry if that's not an adequate answer. Okay.
Did you link in with the acute setting as well, your local hospital and PEDS wards, and how did they become engaged with what you were doing as well? Yeah,
they did. We did design the interview bit with actually the nurses there, and that came down from working with the people in the provider service. So, and then them looking at how easy it is to do, they were sort of like, yeah, this is something we can do all the time, so we can talk to children and we can change, it's not that hard. So, so we did work with them, and although they didn't put a lot of input into this part of the project, they're now working a lot harder, you know, in the provider themselves. Is that okay? Yeah, great. No.
So I interviewed Emma for her job, so it's like an interview question. No, what feedback did you get from staff that were involved? And I'm not talking about your engagement team, but you know, the nurses and that. What was their experience of going through something like this? Was it a negative or a positive experience?
They felt it was very positive. They actually enjoyed talking to the children about the service, which is sometimes a daunting thing for staff to say, you know, what do you think of me? But they said that it was a good thing to do with the children as well, because you kind of learn more about how the child sees the service as well. Is that good? I don't know how I'm doing, so.
We've got another, probably take 2 more questions and then we should
Thanks, a lovely presentation and congratulations. You mentioned quite a wide age range of children from 5 to 18 and talked about interviews and focus groups, and I wondered, did you have to adapt those methods for different groups of children? Because interviewing a 5-year-old is quite different from interviewing a 16-year-old.
Yeah, so the questionnaire was on paper, which was more targeted to the younger, as you can as you saw on the slide, it was all pictures. For the older children, they asked for online questionnaires, so and they told us where they wanted them, so we made sure they were online in places where they would look, and there was a link available on Facebook, I think, and stuff like that. So we did have to do it differently, and the questions were slightly differently worded. The interviews themselves, there was only one set interview, but that was obviously for the children who were actually in the service themselves. So they all kind of they appreciated the different approach there. Is that okay? Am I answering questions?
Hello, congratulations. It's fantastic what you're doing. I've got a special interest. I am a carer, but I do a lot of mystery shopping in CAMS unit. Did you involve a lot of the children from the acute settings? Because, and regarding your staff, you know, I was just wondering, was they very engaging? Because when I've done mystery shopping with people, some of the staff are not sort of engaging or saying the children are not well enough to talk to. We've overcome that barrier because sometimes we feel that they hide behind that. But I just wondered, did you use children or young children, 16, 17, from the acute side as well? Because you find that their voices are not really heard.
Yeah, we did get some questionnaires back from the children who are sort of, you know, teenagers in the service. They were harder to get hold of. They didn't want to interview, so the children interviewed were under 12, I think. So you're right, they don't like to talk, but they didn't mind filling in a questionnaire, which was quite nice. So yeah, we did, but again, it's a very hard area, and I think the problem with that is that we didn't get 16, 17-year-olds in the service to help design it, not for any reason other than we couldn't get them in. So that would have been a great help if we had. So yeah.